Ladies and gentlemen, this is Frogman. Welcome back to IXION. In last episode, I do believe we managed to make it to a new system that is called the EP10 system, or something along those lines, based around the sun, or the moon, or the star, or whatever, sun, moon, star, whatever this thing is, that is currently floating in the space station, or space here with the system. We did a little bit of exploring, we did a little bit of stuff, and we started to work on building, and I need to make sure this is turned off so that we don't do anything, because I don't need that to accidentally get built right off the bat. We're starting to work on our third sector as to a way of being able to make a reasonable amount of food to support our colonists going forward. I'm going to dedicate an entire sector to creating and raising food because we're going to need food for a lot of people as we go on. This station is capable of supporting like 5,000 or 6,000 people. So we're going to need to try to figure out how to eventually be able to get to that area. And we're going to do that in this sector right here. I need to go ahead and blow those roads out because we should have everything cleaned up at this point. But I think what we're going to need to do first of all, nope, back out here. We don't need to be out here. We've got plenty of power. We're good to go. Nothing really has much changed. I've got a few things turned off. What we need to do is we need to do a little bit of shuffling of people around and checking out our resources. We still have a decent amount of alloy laying around. We still have a decent amount of polymer laying around. Silicon and the chips, those are kind of things that are just going to hang out for a little while. And of course, we're currently eating up what's left of the trash being built in this section for now. Now, I did want to make sure that we had all of the cryopods being moved this direction before we do anything else. That's fleet management. I need resource management. Cryonic pods go to sector 1, and I want all of them. And sector 2 is none. Okay, I want to make sure that we're shuffling all of these into here, and we're going to thaw all of those 188 people out while we can, because they don't need to be frozen anymore. We're going to put them to work. We're going to do a few things. I need to be able to get this section back up and running to full capacity, and we need to start shifting some of this ice out of that sector into this one so that we can run this thing. So I think what we will do in this corner over here for the time being, we're going to retrace that road. I want to do something about like that. Realizing the fact that this is going to kind of be a little crappy corner that we're going to have to kind of play with. It'll be all right. This is going to be another one of those. As we go, we'll do a little bit of a better job making things work. But what I'm going to do for now is we're going to go ahead and build a couple of these. 1, 2, and shut them both off. I want to get those built up so that once they're built up, we can get a bunch of people shuffled from this sector into this one as they thaw out so that we can start farming. We have 29.1 cycles to give these people what they need, and we also have to think outside of the box, outside of the station. We need to start gathering up some of the other resources that are around out here to include some research. I do want to send the contact out to each one of these current moons or planets or whatever we found, and I want it to go out and gather up all of that research because I have plans for what I want to do with this. So we're going to dance it over to here, then over to there, then over to here, and we're going to try to get enough science to unlock some stuff. What I want to do with that science is there are several things in the ship location section in here that is going to allow us to be a little bit more productive, but also try to make sure that we don't have that problem of losing people. So I want to basically I want to research the exoskeletons, the deep dive apparatus, and if at all possible, the emergency cryopods for this thing. Now, that doesn't mean I can't just let this thing run for a while and gather up the research that we need, but we do need some people to be able to man our tech lab as well as move a little bit forward. So I'm going to be dancing back and forth between these two sectors to try to get them both up and running at a reasonable pace. So let's go do that. We're going to build this up. Once I get done building this fusion station, which should turn itself off immediately, I just want to make sure it's in place, which is going to take a second. These are going to be thawing. Yes, we're thawing people. Beautiful. All right, that's off. They'll be building up both of these. We're going to place our ice storage, or at least the ice storage that's over here. Well, the ice that's... Whoop, I really got to quit doing that. The ice storage that's over here, we're going to move all of this ice over to here, and then eventually what we'll likely do is we'll either have we'll be moving most of this thing right here, the EVA airlock. We will be moving this. We're going to hopefully in an episode or two unlock another sector so that we can start to actually dedicate a sector specifically to space, meaning the EVA airlocks and the probes are going to all be put in one single sector. We're going to dedicate this entire sector to food. Let's see if we can actually turn those things on. No, according to that, they're mad at us. And yes, we did some things last time that made some people happy. And unhappy, I should say. We have in this sector now population of 421 with what looks to be at least a reasonable amount of people to turn this back on. I need that on so I can start some science. Let's grab that science. Let's grab the first one of these, which is going to be the exoskeletons, and then I want to do deep dive apparatus after that. And we're going to go out here. We're going to tell Contact, guess what you're going to get to do? You're going to come back after you gather up all of the available stuff. She's going to go over there to Fargo 39, and then she's going to go over to Parenti 85 and gather all 60 of that research up, or 45 as it is up now, and then we can start doing a little bit of playing around, at least with this ship. Today I want to basically get some of the structure. I basically want to get this thing fleshed out enough so that the majority of our food is being produced in this sector, not this one. Because this one is eventually, I mean, if nothing else, we can start knocking out some of these farms here and replacing them with these, these things, and we can either turn this sector into our space-related sector, or we can use it as an in-between way to maintain resources between all of them. So it's going to go ahead and grab a little bit more science.
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
Great. An infirmary, of course. Please tell me we don't have too much. All right, we're good to go on that. But yeah, that's where we're going to go with this for right now. And I guess as soon as I get enough people moved from one sector to another, we will start to build out this one so that we've got 20 cycles. We should be able to get it done. Anyhow, let me do a little bit of work here, and I will be right back. All right, well, unfortunately, we missed the deadline because I was too busy staring at some stuff. But let's go ahead and see about getting some of these up and functional. Now, we got a bunch of people that aren't happy because I haven't built them a house. We'll go ahead and build them another house real quick because I shoveled a bunch of people over here. I love that. I'm going to start saying that from now on. Shoveled. Now, shuffled. Put another house down. And we're going to go ahead and keep mindful of our list up here. Go ahead and turn this on. Now that's going to start consuming ice that we have, and it's going to start building up a water meter in this sector that is going to allow us to start producing water. So once it finishes its cycle, it'll put a little bit of water in this. And that's going to be kind of the thing. Water is going to be one of those resources that we're going to slowly use up over time, and it's going to be a royal pain in our tails for a while. Yeah, because there's always accidents in the Tiqqun. Again, I'd love to be able to stop that. You can't do that. All you can do is mitigate the ones that cause massive injury, destruction, and death by maintaining at least 10 to 15% over what the required workers number is. So as long as your worker number is green, you should be fine. If your worker number is red or yellow, you need more workers. So we now, we now have 40 water. It's going to take it a little while to make some. That one fusion station should be able to maintain a reasonable number of farms in this sector. Let's start playing with the farms. Let's get this over with. This is kind of what I wanted to do. Now, crop farms are, this is one of those things where, again, the puzzle sucks. The reason why I say the puzzle sucks is that crop farms are a 3 by, what is that, 5 wide critter, 5 wide, 5, 6 wide, 3 by 6. And the farm itself that you're going to place down is the same size as one of these. So, but the problem is you have to build this little thing first and then move forward. So what I'm going to do is we're going to say that's about center on the sign. I'm going to scoot it over one, stop, and then put one right next to it, and then not build this one. Yes. And we'll let them build that. The reason why we're going to move it over a little bit is because we should be able to get several farms plus some other infrastructure in here, but I want to say that these edges like this are going to be how we're going to do things. You guys have plenty of food. If you missed a meal, I'm sorry. Oh, you know what? We're probably hitting that point, are we? This is 500, and let's look here real quick. Sector, yes. So we've hit over 500 people at this point. We need to go ahead and shuffle anybody one direction or another. Let's check, see how much housing we have over here. We have plenty of housing. We've got 100 extra housing there. We've got 134 non-workers. We're gonna shuffle, and you can just type in here if you want to as well. 100 non-workers, sector 1, sector 2, and then we'll have food problem will essentially go away for the moment. All right, as soon as we get that built, we can turn this on. They'll load that over there, and then they'll build our first farm building. Go away.
Population transfer complete.
Nice. Cool, crop farm. Now, as you notice, there's no farming plots. There's nothing to farm. Let's pause the game real quick and don't care. Just accident can go away. Wherever the accident was, it's probably already cleared. Anyhow, we have to build farm plots, but you build them through the actual structure of the building. This is your field. Every one of these farm plots requires a reasonable amount of power to run. However, all it has to do is touch one or all of the structures around it before it will do anything. Now, I was going to say I was going to start building them back here, but what we'll do is we'll do this, and how many have I got left? 21, that, and then we'll see what happens, and I'll show you what I mean by it's going to use quite a bit of power.
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
But very soon we should be able to shuffle all of that stuff somewhere else. It's not that the insects farms aren't great, it's just that they don't produce enough to do much of anything as far as these go. This is going to produce one a cycle, and it harvests, I believe, every 8 cycles or 10 cycles or something. Each one of these is going to produce 1 food a cycle. However, again, we're now going to say in every 10 cycles we're going to make 20 food, and we can attach up to 9 of these fields to one of these farms. But notice it started out at 7. We now have 2. We've got 13 power farms, and these are going to be your major power usages for a lot of food going forward. We're going to go ahead immediately and construct one of those. Do it, please. Since we should have all the resources to do that. If not, we can produce them. We'll make sure that gets all the way up. We'll go check on this. All right, now we did manage to get all of those researches done. I want to go start right here with this one. Several sensors have recorded contradictory readings relating to the perilous effect on Parenti 85. This is a crew with contact. We have entered their atmosphere. Has been deployed, but gravity of the planet may complicate our operations. Visibility is nil. Atmospheric corrosive factors are negligible. We're going to go ahead and see about trying to get a bit more science. So either one of these two is going to get us a reasonable amount of science. I'm going to go ahead and let them work with the most, since we should be able to get quite a bit of this stuff. Pushka, you can go to work, please. They'll drag a few resources back and forth over there to them, hopefully, and then we should be able to do a little bit more fun. We do need to get some more science ships going, and hopefully next episode we'll work on that. As soon as we get some more of this done... Oh, there we go. A little more fingers. Almost done? All right, nice. They're fixed. We should now have a little bit more what I want to do, again, being very careful, this number is misleading, and that's something that you need to understand. It's 4 people per thing, as well as like 5 or something, whatever, 3 or 4, whatever, for the farms. So be careful with your numbers. Now, we've got plenty of people, but it's a little misleading in here. Puzzles like this are always going to suck because you're not going to be able to get what you want out of this. We're just going to go ahead and build a few more this direction and let it slowly start to grow. Now, what's really going to be fun about these, I do believe we can probably actually start doing it, is increasing speed at which things grow, and they also start to produce waste after a while. We'll go ahead and kick that accelerated growth going because that will help us produce a little bit more food. We'll be able to compact this a little bit more later on. I think for right now, we just want to get as much of this working as we can. What I may end up doing is building a bank of batteries back along this wall, or we might even try some of the other food production ways of making food. There are plenty of other ways to make food. So now that's going to make 6 every cycle, or 7 every cycle. It's going to use 25 power. And again, it's eating up our people. We started with like plenty of people sitting around with nothing to do, but there, we've already increased our food production by 10%. Now we're going to be making, what is it, however many a cycle.
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
Yeah, we're always going to have accidents in the Tiqqun. It's just going to get annoying after a while. One thing we do need to do is we need to make sure to put down a trash can for that thing, because we're going to use the waste that it makes to make circuits in another sector. Let's see, where do we want to put one of these? We'll put it, we'll put it right there, I guess. And hopefully we have enough people to do that. We're getting close. Can I shuffle? Let's shuffle workers 21 to 6. And then we're going to start filling this sector up with, you know, the random kind of things like that so that we can kind of get some stuff working. I may eventually move some of this around. It's just the kind of a goal of getting it moving right now so that it does what it needs to do. We need to probably just...
Transfer complete.
There are many ways of doing this. If I can get 4 of these running in this sector, I'll be perfectly happy. And I mean, 4 full ones will last us forever as far as food is concerned. I guess we can build the last 3. Right now, we'll just do that. Because what I want to do is I want to build a stockpile full of these, the food, or several stockpiles. Fill up the food as much as we can, and then we should be able to start doing some other fun stuff. While we're at it on that point, let's see. Sector 6, food minimum 50. Can deliver to everybody else. Sector food minimum. Yeah, you should never move food, and this one is going to move food until it needs to move food. Sector 6 will move food however it needs to go. That'll work. Once they get those built, there's another one. Notice we're again 34 power. They eat quite a lot of power.
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
Probably. No big deal. Oh, I need to tell you trash. I need to do the DLS. Oh, nuts. We need to do that. Forgot about the DLS. DLS. Population stability, DLS. You don't fit in here. That's perfectly wonderful. You go right there for right now. And turn that on. How are we doing on ice? Whoop. Nope. Ice needs to come out of here. Those are drained, those are drained, those are drained. All right, we can already kind of see the fun part about the ice. We're down to, this is all the ice we have on there. It means we've already gone through most of one of these. These can all get shut off now because they're not here. I'm going to turn one of these on, and I'm going to go ahead and tell our mining ships, chew through 664 ice that you can find. And Wallow, you can go get it while that shows up. That's fine. We just need to make sure we keep ahead of some of this stuff as with everything, how it works. What have we got? We've got plenty of things over here. You have a request. What do you want? Oh, administrator of the novelty of eating crops grown in space delights the crew, even if purely perceptual. The turning of the ordinary into the extraordinary can have a profound effect on judgment, elevating the otherwise humble to the sublime. Now they're happy with me because we gave them a little bit of stuff. Now, we could have managed to get both of the trust and both of the things happen at the same time when we got the other stuff, like I said, if we'd have managed to make that quest happen. I don't really care. Some of the quests you will see tend to make a little to no difference, and some of the quests will tend to make people very aggravated with you or not aggravated with you or whatever. For the most part, it's not nearly as bad as one would think. How are we doing? I'm gonna pop this on and look. It's probably gonna get mad at me. Yeah, so we're now mad at us because we have way too many people. The math doesn't work. Shut this back off. Let's go over here. You need to have, I'm gonna say another, let's say 15 crew workers, sector 1, sector 2, start migration. I want to turn this back on so that we can start producing the stuff that we need here. I guess I can shut that off. We don't need it. And we can shut that off. We don't need it. We need to be producing some of the alloy that we're not currently producing. Might be able to do it now. Nope, still not happy. We're short a little bit on steel, which is a bad deal. Steel, alloy, whatever. Alrighty, what do we get? Where are we?
Transfer complete.
Phenomena have been discovered on Apparent T85 that appear to defy the perilous effect. Particles specific to self-similar space were also detected. These clearly play a major role in the complex balance of forces present on the planet. Resume data listening protocol, and apparently that's all we had to care about. That will give us 75 science. That means we can start rocking out some of this other stuff. Let's look at that one. We're going to start working on that one. We'll use that. We need to get the colonization going so we can do some other things as it works out anyway. And apparently we have too many people in this sector by 11. How many people did we end up in here? 424. Have we opened all of these? We have. Shut everything off right now. And that means I can shuffle 20 non-workers from Sector 2 back to Sector 1, and we should be okay. How are we doing? We're waiting on some steel to be produced. I think we can, you know, I can't shut it off, but whatever. How about we do this?
Transfer complete.
No, not that one. That one. Everybody should be happy now. We're going to start chewing through a bunch of this. They've retrieved all of the science. Beautiful. I want them to get this built. So that we can turn this on and start making these people happy so we can recycle the waste that's coming out of this. We're going to go ahead and turn that on. We'll be able to do another policy in 10 cycles, which won't take very long. And we won't have to worry too much about this. I'm going to shut that one off for now just to make sure we've got things going. There we go. Now, full on out. This is going to make a lot of food for us very quickly.
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
We know that. It's fine. That's going to be, you know, 9 or 10 or whatever it is. It's quite a bit of food, and it's actually a considerable amount more than what one of these can make. Now, these are going to be really good. They're going to be usable for quite a while, but at least we now have several forms of food to be feeding our colonists, or at least our people living on these really, really crazy sectors and things and stuff. We got space. What did we get? We got the colonization training center, which we're going to have to start playing around with soon, but not quite right now. Contact. You're busy done doing that one. Why don't you come down here and let's take care of these.
No more resources available to mine.
Let's go find some more resources to mine. I want Some local iron would be good. Interesting. We must have missed some right there. Do it again. Where are we? How are we doing? Do we have enough people we can turn that second... yes, we do. Turn that forge on. Get to cranking out what steel we do have. We need to keep this ship from falling apart. And I guess I can shut you off. We don't need you running. We'll keep storage over here. That sounded like we got another probe ready to go. Let's do another probe. Ooh, there's a big one. Where is it? That's a good one. Now, I will probably, in between episodes, do a little shuffling around on this. I might just move this to the other end so that we can kind of stack at least 2 up here. But we should be able to get enough space in here for at least 4 of these. 4 of these will produce a reasonable amount of food, especially... Oh, great. There goes the tech lab, and that was 24 people. How much space do we have in here now?
Has arrived at its destination.
Just ridiculous.
A probe has completed its scan.
Well, they're not mad at us. We should be okay. 24 people. I think we're going to be all right for the moment. I'm just kind of looking at a few things, trying to get a couple of things sorted. All right, this one is now shut down, kind of, because it has hit the max cap of what it can for water. And once we get the policy here ready to go, which I think we can do, yes, please, that will haul the recycling out of here. We're going to place it in this one here. And again, we're going to add this to this. We're in Sector 6, minimum. And that will deliver the waste over to here. Again, we're using all of that waste right now to craft these circuits. So every single 50 of our waste turns into a circuit or whatever it is. 1 circuit, 50 waste. That's how we're going to do this for right now until we can get another sector open so that we can start messing around with a few things. But that looks like we're doing reasonably well. We've chewed through all of the steel that we had laying around. In one episode, I managed to eat almost all of the steel that we brought, or the alloy that we brought with us from the other, well, 1 episode, 2 episodes, whatever. All of the materials practically from one solar system to another that we brought along with us is now gone, which means we're now going to have to start farming and mining and eating up all of the iron that's laying around in this system. I think for the final thingy here, we're going to read this and then we'll end it for now so we can start with this the next time. Our probe has detected the presence of cavities beneath the planet's surface. The readings are picking up these nut chambers as symptoms from strong nuclear reactions. They've landed on the planet. The opaque atmosphere lets in hardly any light. Good Lord, can you tell I don't read very often? Geological formations on the planet's surface resemble giant emerald waves frozen in time. We have set up near the location of one of these cavities. We're going to get to pick what we get to do next time. I guess you guys probably already know what we're going to do. We're just going to go right straight for the balls of it at the 40 and get it over with. But until then, I will see you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.